One of the real challenges that we face, and it's not a cultural thing, it's not a time in history, but everybody's always faced whether or not are we true disciples of Jesus Christ. Now, this is a heavy subject. Are we true disciples? I think everyone should examine themselves. The Bible says, examine yourself whether you be in the faith. Understand that, but we also ought to examine ourselves. Are we genuinely and being authentic disciples of Jesus Christ? And I want to talk to you about the true disciple of Jesus Christ. Every Christian has to is faced with the decision of following Jesus Christ or not following. Not everybody that is a Christian is a follower. A disciple, though, is a follower of Jesus Christ. A true disciple is a follower of Christ. And again, not every believer will be a disciple or a follower of Christ. We know that, okay? And it's a shame, and God has called us all to be disciples. I know that. And I know He's called me, and I think sometimes when I evaluate my life, and I look at my walk with God, I see my shortcomings. I believe that's good for me to see. I don't think it's something I ought to kill myself over or beat myself over, but it should challenge me to say, look, you've been called to be a disciple of Jesus, so be that disciple. And we're going to go here to Mark chapter 3. The Bible says in Mark 3, 9 through 15. It says, and He spake to His disciples that a small ship should be weighed on Him because of the multitude, lest they should throng Him. And so He's on this shore of Galilee, and the multitudes are there, and He gets into a boat. And the crowds are thronging Him. And the Bible says, for He had healed many, insomuch that they pressed upon Him for to touch Him, and many as had plagues and unclean spirits. And when they saw Him, the Bible says, they fell down before Him, they cried, Thou art the Son of God. And He straightly charged them that they should not make Him known. And He goeth into a mountain. This is after that, okay? After He's done in this boat, these people have been touched Him. The Bible says He goes up into a mountain. And the Bible says while He's in that mountain, here's what He does. He calleth unto Him whom He would, and they came unto Him. I think this is a very important verse. We're going to come back to this later. And He ordained 12 that they should be with Him, and that He might send them forth to preach and to have power to heal sicknesses and to cast out devils. And so I want to talk to you here about, first of all, the drawing call to be a disciple. Going back to verse 13, and He goeth up into a mountain, He calleth unto Him whom He would, and they came to Him. Listen to me. God is drawing you, God is drawing me to come unto Him, come up into the mountain with Him, and surrender our lives to be a disciple of Jesus Christ. Now, you may have been called to teach, you may have been called to preach, you may have been called to administrate, but listen carefully. Your call to be a disciple is first and foremost over you teaching, over you preaching, over you administrating ministry. I'm serious, because you can be a Sunday school teacher, but you're not a disciple. Then your Sunday school teaching is going to be, really, it's not going to be fruitful. And you can preach, but if you're not truly a follower of Jesus Christ, okay, then your preaching will condemn you. And if you can teach, you can preach, and you can administrate ministry. But do you have are you a true follower of Jesus Christ, okay? Because you know what we can do with the Christian life? We can fake it to make it. It's not to be mechanical. It's to be authentic and genuine in our love for Christ. And so we look here today at the drawing call to be a disciple. God's calling you unto Him to be a disciple, to be a follower. And again, I say this, to teach, preach, and administrate is wonderful, but before you do those things, or while you do those things, you should be yielding yourself to be a disciple first. And we're going to take up here next week.